Alright guys, this is going to be a very brief video, but hopefully you get the main ideas by the end of it if you're confused on anything. So first of all, before I start transforming any kind of functions, I want to note the major points. So for example, here's the highest point on this function, so it's left 2, up 3, so I'm going to go -2, 3, that's that point. This point's going to be -1, -1. This point's going to be 2, 2. And this point's going to be 3, 0. Now before we get started, I want to mention that you can move any graph, and mostly this is going to be later regarding parent functions, but all these graphs can be written in some way, shape, or form or variation of this right here. So you're going to have a f of x minus h plus k. Now k is going to be a number. If k exists, is going to shift the graph vertically, so up or down. H is going to shift the graph left or right. And then A is going to stretch the graph up or down. So A is multiplying your y values. K is adding to your y values or subtracting from your y values. And anything that's inside the parentheses is either going to be, it's strictly concerned with the x's. So that H is going to affect my x values. So let me show you what I mean. And remember also, whatever's in that parentheses is backward from what you normally think would happen. So if you look at my values right here, and then you look at this function, it says g of x is the same function as f of x, but it's up 3. So as you can see, this right here is f of x. So what goes up 3? Well, this 3 is not inside the parentheses, so it's actually talking about the y's. It's going to be affecting the y's. Anything, remember, anything inside the parentheses affects the x's. Anything outside the parentheses is affecting the y's. So it's not inside the parentheses, so it's affecting the y's. So if it's affecting the y's of this f of x function, then I'm going to go ahead and write these x's as if they were never touched, because they weren't. So there's my x's, and then it shifts my y's up 3. So I could write that here if I wanted. So shifts y's up 3. Which values in the table are affected? Y values. So here it goes. They're shifting all of these up 3. So I've got this 3 becomes a 6, this -1 becomes a 2, this +2 becomes a 5, and this 0 becomes a 3. So we've got 6, 2, 5, 3. So what this would look like now is -2, +6, -1, +2, 2, +5, 3, 3. So notice it's the exact same shape as this one right here, except the only difference is where this minimum was at -1, 1, it's shifted up. So it was right here. Now it's gone up 1, 2, 3. Everything is moved up 3. Every single point has moved up 3. This was at a +2, and now it's at a +5. Every single point's moved up 3. Alright, let's try this one now. That one, in the parentheses, it's going to be affecting the x's. Remember, anything that's in the parentheses actually has the reversed effect that you think it would have. So right here, you might think that this is going to shift the x's to the left 1, when in reality, it's actually shifting everything to the right 1. Okay? So my y's don't change this time, so my y's still are 3, -1, 2, and 0. So I have 3, -1, 2, and 0. But my x's change by +1. It's shifting right 1. So -2 becomes -1. -1 becomes 0. 2 becomes 3. And 3 becomes 4. So again, now we can plot these points. -1, 3. 0, -1. 3, 2, and 4, 0. So notice it still has the same shape as this one above, except instead of taking it and going up 3 like this one did, it just took this and went right 1. So where this was at -1, -1, this is at 0, -1. It just moved it right 1 place. Let's go ahead. This one right here, this should move the graph down 2 places. So ultimately I'd take all my y's right here. My x's would be the same, -2, -1, 2, and 3. My y's would be down 2 more. So because this is -2 and it's outside the parentheses, I make all my y's 2 less. So that'd be 1, -3, 0, -2. This moves all my x's, this one right here moves all my x's to the left 1 space. Okay, so where all my x's now were -1, -2, -1, 2, and 3, I move it left 1. So -3, -2, 1, and 2. So let's go ahead and keep going on the back side. I'm going to take that table real quick from this side. Let's see, it was 3, -1, 2, 0, 3, -1, 2, 0, and then it was -2, -1, and this is, that table is from this right here. That's the original f of x graph. So now this is saying that y equals the same graph as f of x, except I'm shifting all the x's to the right 2 spaces and all the y's up 1 space. So all the x's to the right 2 spaces, so this, if it's going to go to the right 2 spaces, it's going to become a 0, that's going to become a 1, that's going to become a 4, that's going to become a 5, and my y's are going up 1 space. So my y's are going to become 4, that's going to become 0, that's going to become 3, and 1. So if we graph that, so it looks like it shifts right 2, up 1. So -2, -1. -2, 3, sorry. And that's actually at -1, -1. I'm messing that up. I'm gonna go up here. I keep looking at this, so I'll cross it out for a second so I don't look at it. So 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 3, and then 5, 1. There it is, the same thing we've been graphing the whole time, except this time it's moved right 2, up 1. Let's go ahead and try this one. So I have a -x and then +1. So here are my points. Again, they were at -2, 3, -1, -1, 2, 2, 3, 0. Y's, x's. So all my x's now are becoming negative, so that's going to be a +2, +1, -2, -3. Notice I just negated everything here because all my x's have become negative. And then also, I am adding 1 to everything, all the y's. So I got 4, 0, 3, and 1. So 2, 4, 1, 0, -2, -3, -2, +3, and then -3, 1, -3, 1. So there it is. Now notice, when I negated my x's, because of that, it's just like this. It looks just like this one, except literally it flips this way. It flips over that y-axis. It flips like this. Alright, and let's go ahead and do one more. Let's do this one. So we've got we've got -2, 3, -1, -1, 2, 2, 3, 0. Remember, this table is coming from that original f of x graph in the very front. I'll turn it over and show you guys. This is where that's coming from. This table up here. Alright? So look. Now I'm going to be multiplying all my y's by 1/3 and I'm subtracting 3 from all my x's. So my x's are going to become -5, -4, -1, 0, and there's the bell, so I'm going to have to hurry up. So 1/3 of 3 is going to be 1/3, 1/3, or I'm sorry, it's going to be 1. 1/3 of -1 is going to be -1/3. 1/3 of 2 is going to be 2/3. 1/3 of 0 is still 0. So then when I plot all those points, that's what it would look like. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.